February 24th, 2022. Cancer, T-Mobile, $20,000 NFT. Kate McKinnon calls me a kick-ass businesswoman. I got the dreaded call that the growth on the bridge of my nose is a basal cell carcinoma, but it's not deadly. Jamie pointed out that it's the same kind of cancer that took Tonga Serval's nose, but I pointed out to her that he lived a very long, healthy life despite it. Tomorrow I spend all day under the knife of Dr. Johnathan Lopez. He's a plastic surgeon that Dermatologist Associates recommended for a MOHS, M-O-H-S procedure. He just keeps digging out the crud until he gets clean margins and then sews me up, so that's why it's a long ordeal. It's all done in a single day. The nurse was concerned about doing it before my DC trip because the stitches come out next week, but I told her I pulled out my own stitches when my tubal ligation was done, so I wasn't a pussy. I think I was more concerned about last night's switch from AT&T to T-Mobile. I had backed up everything for me and Howie and reminded Jamie and Victor to do the same, but that still didn't ease my anxiety of it all being gone in a poof of cyber clouds. 2 a.m. was the official switchover, and this morning everything was fine. What a relief. Harry from Dank Bank came through and paid Howie and me the $16,000 for the NFT of our wedding and the $5,000 for a video to advertise it that we did for him. Today I'm transferring Howie's half to him. I spent all of day yesterday creating an educational 17-minute long video about tigers for kids in West Virginia in order to get them to write letters and draw tigers for Senator Capito to try and get her moving on the Big Cat Public Safety Act. On Tuesday, Mike Weber allowed us to finally release the conservation game for free on YouTube. I expected hundreds of thousands of views, but today we are still at 4,300. He released it on his own channel because none of the other animal protection groups will want to share anything Big Cat Rescue has to their support base. It has 1,500 views, so it has 1,500 views there on Mike's channel, so he's getting some of them to share their non-branded link. My Vistro have run out last night, so I bought a veggie plate and a salad at Boston Market. I think this is only the second time that I've run out of food, and I'm not sure when the next shipment is due in. For the first time this week, someone screamed, "F you, Carole Baskin," as they drove past me biking home on Sheldon Road. No one has been nasty to me other than when they can hide behind screens. I guess the speed at which they were accelerating in the opposite direction of my riding, they felt empowered enough to be confrontational. I don't understand what people get out of that. And then this link is to it's not the trailer for Joe versus Carole, but it's an explanation interview that they did with Kate McKinnon and Kyle MacLachlan. In the pre-movie interview above, Kate McKinnon said, "As I did more research, I began to really admire her. I really want people to see that she is a kick-ass businesswoman, a very passionate activist, and is a survivor." Kyle MacLachlan said, "Howard and Carole have such a soul match," and then Kate went on to say, "They truly love, care for, and support each other, and building that dynamic was my favorite part of shooting." Since Tiger King aired March 20 of 2020, I've been in the press multiple times per day, until 3 days before this interview aired. I noted to myself that maybe it was finally over, and then Peacock dropped his bombshell that caused the media to go into another frenzy. So, the record now stands at 3 days of peace. I don't think we are going to beat that anytime soon. Spoiler alert. So I'm recording this on March the 20th of 2026, 6 years later. And I think to date, the longest that the press has left us alone has been like maybe 30 days. Not because of me, but because of you-know-who constantly trying to get his name in the press. And of course, every time they do that, they drag out my name.
Hi, I'm Carole Baskin via my artificial intelligence avatar today, and I've been writing my story since I was able to write. But when the media goes to share it, they only choose the parts that fit their idea of what will generate views. These are my views and opinions. If I'm going to share my story, it should be the whole story. The titles are the dates things happened. If you have any interest in who I really am, please start at the beginning of this playlist. I know there will be people who take things out of context and try to use them to validate their own misconception, but you have access to the whole story, real and AI visuals from HeyGen, OpenArt, and other platforms. This video is for entertainment purposes only.